Okay, so this is my fruit cocktail nail that I did. Este es el video que hice. I'm just saying this part in Spanish because I want to say thanks to somebody I got inspired with. Me inspiré, este video es a base de la inspiración que recibí de Estrella LGBT sobre un diseño que ella hizo de gota de arte verde con frutas de fimo. Pues sí, Estrella, gracias por tus ideas. Me inspiré en tu diseño. Es casi igual, pero no es exactamente igual. Pero sí quiero darle el crédito. No fue la idea mía, sino tuya, Estrella LGBT. Entonces, gracias. So now that I'm said thank you to Estrella LGBT, which is another YouTuber here with great nail ideas. I admit that that's where I got my idea from for this nail, and I got inspired in her design, even though it's not the exact copy of it. It is her idea that I got it from, and it's not my own, so credit where credit is due. Uh, Anyways, I prepared the nail bed color there in the first part here. I'm just showing you what I used to make the nail art drop, which are some piñata colors that I got at a local craft store. I mixed them with the Claro extender. Here I am prepping my nails, my hands, sanitizing my tools, and now I'm removing the cuticle from my nail. I do want to note or mention that I am no longer using the cuticle remover just because I don't remember what video I saw from another YouTuber, but she did bring a good point about how a cuticle remover has some sort of oil in it, and the point of dehydrating your nail and buffing it a bit with the nail file, as you'll see that I'm about to do, is to have the nail dry and have it soak up the acrylic. And so by adding the cuticle remover, you're also adding additional oil that your nail didn't have before. So it makes sense to avoid that step, and it works just fine. The cuticle removes just fine with it. So here I'm very lightly buffing or scouring, or however you want to say it, but not scouring, but buffing the nail bed to prepare it for the acrylic. Just removing enough shine and brushing off the excess dust. It's very important to mention that when I do brush it, I brush downward. When I go up again, I lift my brush from the nail to avoid shoving any more of that dust back there in the cuticle area. So just to mention that so you know. And now I am getting ready to add some of the ASP Prep and Dehydrant, which also dehydrates or dries up the nail in order to have it suck up better the acrylic, the monomer and acrylic when they bond together, and have it adhere better to the nail bed. So yeah, I loved this design from Estrella, and that's why I decided to use it on my own. Uh, I loved it. I'm very, very happy with the end result. This is the Fimo slices. I decided to spread them out on the towel just to have it easier to pick up and choose the thinnest slices. There I'm dipping my brush into the acrylic, the monomer, I'm sorry, the colored monomer, and then to the clear acrylic, and patting it down to my nail. It's very important that you try to pat down as much as possible and remove any excess acrylic, because you do want to add the Fimos while it's still wet, and also to avoid it to be too thick of a nail in the end, because you do have to encapsulate very well in order to make sure that the Fimos are completely covered and not um, taken away with the filing in the end. So if you're not careful, it can be a very thick nail. That's why it's very important to pat down as much as possible and work fast, so that when the acrylic is still wet, you can stick the Fimos on there and pat them down. Make sure you're patting them, holding them down until they're completely dry. Otherwise, the Fimo can kind of curl, especially if it's way too thin. That's another thing you need to pay close attention when cutting your Fimos. Not to cut them too thin, or they can curl up kind of, or too thick, because then you're going to end up with a humongous chunk of nail. You don't want that either. Here I'm doing now my right my left hand. I'm doing my left hand with my right hand, something like that. And I added the nail bed, and now I'm adding the nail art drop. If you notice, I'm using two different brushes, and it's very important so that you don't stain your clear acrylic, or when you're encapsulating, so that it's not stained, because it is quite of the colors might be able to mix with your clear, and you don't want that. You want to have a clear finish in the end, a clear encapsulating. So that's why I'm using two brushes. The both of them I bought at Sally's Beauty Supply. This one right here I love. It's the ASP brand, and I love it. It really helps with, I really like it. The acrylic doesn't gunk up in there, and it's really easy to clean. I just love this. It's just the perfect size, the perfect shape. I'm really happy, and for $20, I mean, it's worth it. So this is the first set of nails that I do with the nail art drops that I bought, or with alcohol inks that I bought rather. Um, and I gotta say, I'm really happy with them. They're very summery. A lot of people have been commenting on them and saying that they love them. So, yay! Once again, thank you, gracias Estrella, for your wonderful idea. You guys should check her out. She has a lot of interesting videos. So here, as you can see, I do apply quite a bit of acrylic just to make sure I have enough coverage all over, but I quickly remove the excess and quickly start sticking the phimos to it while it's still very wet. Like I said, to prevent the nail from being too thick. Too thick nails, they don't look nice. I don't think so anyway. I'm just adding a little bit of glitter, lime green glitter that I bought from Coastal Scents, just in different areas of the nail, just to give it a little bit of sparkle here and there. Not exactly all over it, but. Ooh, silence. I was drinking some water. My mouth is dry from talking so much. But yeah, I'm making sure it's very well encapsulated, not too thick, but making sure every part of the phimo is well covered. Like I said, because when you file down and make it nice and even, you don't want certain areas of the phimo that were not covered well by the acrylic to be removed when filing. So you do gotta make sure you have every single spot well encapsulated. Once again, patting down and making sure it's not too thick. Sorry, I know I'm getting out of the frame, but trying my best not to, guys. So there, I filed buffed. I didn't really record that, but now I'm removing the excess dust from underneath and side of the nail and top of the nail, making sure there is no dust at all. That's the excess dust with the brush. But then I'm also going to use a cotton ball with some alcohol and making sure it's very well clean in every side of the nail, just so that when I do cure my nail, there's no bumpy areas. You don't want to have that little bumpy area feeling when your nails are done. I'm using my art pen that I bought from eBay to make some random dots. I ended up, it's funny, I ended up, after all this, I ended up removing the dots that I made, and as you can see here, I'm doing them in all the nails. Well, I decided to remove them, and I just did them on the pinky and on the index finger of both hands. I just wanted them to look a little bit different, a little bit of extra, but not too much. And I thought here it was a little bit too much, and I didn't like the dots that well, so as well. So I removed them. Sorry. So, dotting away. There I go, removing them. But like I said, you'll see the end result in a bit. Here I'm adding my IBD Intense Seal. I love this top coat. It doesn't have a sticky feeling in the end. You don't have to wipe anything off, or no tacky residue. It's great. I love the shine. You just always got to be careful. What you saw me doing there is removing any excess that might have gone on the nail, or no, not the nail, but on the skin or cuticle area, because if you do cure that, then it's going to also cost lifting of the nail, because it's sticking to skin and it's going to basically just pop off. And you don't want that. I add the seal underneath my nails too, because especially these that are kind of transparent, I want them to be shiny all around. So being careful. I cured uh, the nails, and I love my nail lamp, by the way. Now I'm adding my cuticle oil all around, since they were really dry because of all the filing. So I soak them in cuticle oil, which I love. This one, it smells like flowers. And I rub the cuticle in the cuticle oil, and hydrate them. And look at them, so super shiny. I love it. I love this design. If you like them or not, comment below. Like the video if you want to. I would appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't. Any questions, any special requests, just let me know in a comment below or message, and hope to see you next time.